Cancer, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carole, and this is going to be a general reading for you. And there's no date on this reading, so I trust that when it comes into your feed, it's meant for you at the time. So we're going to jump into today's reading right away. And in today's reading, I want to start off by using the Ehrenberg Tarot first of all. And I'm going to look at, I'm going to ask for the first card, and I want to know what are you being asked right now to release that's no longer serving you. So if I can have one card for Cancer, let me know what they need to release because it's no longer serving them. One card, please. Hope you're all doing well out there in this crazy, crazy world. Yeah, and I want to welcome you to my channel if you're new. And if you're coming back for another reading, thank you as well. All right, we have your first card. So you're being asked to release the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups. What's coming up from your shadow that needs healing? Now, in order to release this, it involves us doing something for ourselves. It involves us putting ourselves first. It involves the next step that we need to take. And when that happens, there's always something around it that needs healing. That's coming up from your childhood, coming up from your adolescence, from your unconscious that you've buried. And so we're going to find out here what is having the most impact on that. What is driving this that needs to be released right now? But this has to be healed first. So can I have one card from Cancer's shadow? That came out quickly. It knew what it wanted to tell me. You have a Page of Wands, and the pages in my deck are my inner children. They represent a part that we all have. Actually, we have more than one inner child. And I've been on my own intensive healing journey for 9 years now, intensively working with my own trauma coach. And I found out that I have more than one inner child. I do parts therapy, and so I integrate that into my readings, and you're going to hear me talk about parts. And so the pages are your inner children. And what guidance does the tarot have for you in relationship to this situation? Because this is a healing journey, right? It's a process. Well, this is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse for you as for advice from the tarot, and it's going to focus. It's going to give you a focus as to where you need to go in order to heal this inner child that's coming up for you. I'm going to take the Tarot of AE Waite, which is a Rider-Waite deck, and I'm going to clarify. So let's start off with the Six of Cups here, and I need a couple cards for that. Six of Cups. A couple cards for the Six of Cups. There's one, and one more. There we go. So you have the Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands. And those are to clarify your Six of Cups. Can I have some clarifiers for the Page of Wands? A couple cards to tell me more about this inner child, Page of Wands, who is obviously blocked right now because it's in reverse. And another card. There we go. Okay, so you have the Moon card and the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Now the Moon card was sideways here. It's important to keep my cards sideways when they do come out, when I really do see it as a card that's coming out in that position. Sometimes it just means a little bit of indecision, not knowing which way to go, and in this case it definitely fits here. The Seven of Pentacles. A couple cards. And then we can get on with your reading, Cancer. Oh, those might almost jumped out there. There's one. And another one for the Seven of Pentacles. There we go. All right, so you have the Judgment card and another inner child, your Page of Swords this time. Okay, so let's start off with your reading. What are you being asked to release right now that's no longer serving you? Remember, there's no date on this, so it's meant for you right now as you're listening to it. We have the Six of Cups card, and the Six of Cups talks about an exchange. And in particular, this card talks about an exchange between two children. They're exchanging the cup. It's the cup of love. It's the cup of emotions. And I think what this card has, I have struggled with this card along as I've been learning, throughout my journey of learning the cards. Sometimes they'll switch their meanings. Sometimes they'll go a little bit deeper. And this one has been one that I struggled with. I used to think it was kind of an inner child, but I knew I had my pages as the inner children, as my cards to mean that. And then this one, I used to say it was the inner children, but then as I started reading more, I realized that this talked about, it was a card of nostalgia, going back into childhood, wishing things maybe were different is what I just heard as I was saying that. It's like, and I think there's a part of you, I think the universe here is saying, I think there's a need for you to release that wanting to go back and maybe do it again, wanting to go back and because, it's not about forgetting the past, but it's about our mind that keeps wanting to keep us in the past. Right? And I know my own mind does that, and it's been doing that lately to me, where it's like, I know I have another part that almost wants to keep beating me up and saying, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this differently? Why couldn't you have done this? And we were the people that we were back then. And so there's a lot of forgiveness that comes in. It's about forgiving yourself, right? And so I think what's happening here is you're in a position where the universe is saying, all right, it's time now to start to focus on, where do you want to take your life? Where do you want to go now? Because this is that nostalgia card that keeps coming up for you, and it's time to let the nostalgia go. It doesn't say you're letting go of what you need to heal, because that's always going to be there, right? You're always healing. But you need to keep, there's something, it's your ego self that keeps pulling you back there. And there's another part too that can keep doing that, like I said, and keeping you in the past. Because there's this Knight of Pentacles here. The Knight is, in my deck there's 4 of them. And so I see this as a part of ours called our freedom fighter. And everybody has this. Everybody wants freedom. Everybody wants freedom to be themselves. They want to be authentic. And this particular Knight holds the pentacle. It's the one that, the pentacle is our body. It's being in our body. It's taking that pentacle and going where we want to go, right? In a real grounded way. And so maybe you're feeling that pull. Maybe you're feeling that pull of wanting to go somewhere, and you keep getting pulled back in like that, like I said, that doubt, or, just really hard forgiving yourself and thinking, well, why couldn't I have done it differently? And there's some anger when this particular part doesn't get its way, right? It's trying to pull you a certain direction and saying, listen, it's time now that you maybe get into your body, because it is carrying the pentacle. You start to realize that you have this body, because I think you've been in your head for too long, right? This 9 of Wands comes in, and the 9 of Wands comes in, and it says, this is an individual that's been through a real battle, right? Look at the bandage on his head. He's got these wands, and he's put them, like, wands are not supposed to be put in the ground, right? They're meant to go. The 8 of Wands is like pure energy, take off energy, go with it, right? But this one, like, he's taken these wands, and he's had to use those wands as something to protect himself. And so I think that you've been in this position where you've been carrying so much, right? You've been carrying so much, and maybe you've had to put up these wands to protect yourself, and yet you keep pulling yourself back and almost like beating yourself up. That maybe this is the beating yourself up card today, And so it's like, okay, how are we going to start to bring the focus back to you and out of your head that wants to keep going back? And now we're trying to bring it back here to the present moment, right? And so that you can decide, all right, what's my next move? Where do I need to go? So we need to heal this. You know, Cancer, you have to heal what's going on here. Like, why do you keep beating yourself up like that? Why do you keep saying, I wish it was different? What is that? It's like a cycle that you're caught up in, a pattern. And I mean, that's what happens, right? And so it's like, okay, this reading is here to break this pattern for you. And so what's coming up for healing from your childhood, from your adolescence? Well, here's this inner child right here, and it's blocked. And so who are our inner children? You know, our inner children are the parts of us that they hold our memories, and they hold, you know, when trauma happened to us, big events that we couldn't handle when we were a child, well, we have these parts of us that take on the big emotions, take on the memory of that, because there's no way in hell that when you were a child and things happened to you that you could have handled those big emotions. And so what happens is our ego self will pull us out of our head when we're younger, because we don't have emotions in our head. And that's why you continue to stay in your head, because your emotions aren't here. And so there's a real need for you here to get in touch with your inner children, and that means getting back into your body, because you have an inner child here that's carrying the wand. And here the wand suit's coming up again. It's like there's a direction you're meant to go in, but if we keep going backwards, we're not seeing that. Listen, there's something here you need to see, because when you were 4, 5, 6 years old, and that's the age of my pages, you knew, believe it or not, where you were supposed to go, who you were supposed to be. But this got blocked. Somehow your direction was blocked by whatever situation you had when you were growing up. And our pages are coming up for healing. They need you to listen to them. They need you to hear them. They need you to see. I mean, look at the eyes here. They want you to see in their eyes what they saw and feel what they felt. And that's what they're asking you to do now in order to heal this part of you that needs healing. And so when you were younger and your direction of who you were supposed to be and where you were supposed to go got blocked, discouraged, squashed, it also did something else to you. You lost your sense. Here's the moon card coming out here in a sideways position. In an upright position, it talks about these things that are hidden. Like, it talks about our inner guidance. It talks about the intuition, your intuition. We all are intuitive beings, right? We all can have access to that. It's a beautiful feminine quality. But in order to access our intuition, we have to be in our body. And that's the thing. Like, this part here is saying, you know, it's time for you to get into your body, so that you can access your intuition, so that you're going to have this knowing. It's this inner knowing, that gut feeling that knows where they're supposed to go. But if you're, you know, like I said, continuing to look back and not focusing on now, and not focusing on getting into your body and feeling and trying to get in touch with that inner guidance of yours that knows where it's supposed to go. You have a 9 of Pentacles here, and it's in reverse. So you have two, no, you don't. What am I saying? I thought there was 2. Oh, the 9 of Wands was over here. I thought the 9 was right beside each other. Okay. So you have the 9 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Pentacles talks about this individual that's been really focusing a lot of time on training this falcon, right? Takes a lot of time out for themselves. Because this is important to them. And so I think when you were younger, you lost sense of what's important to you. It's in reverse. And so you lost sense of your intuition, and you lost sense of what's important to you. And so I think that's where you're sitting right now, where you just don't know what's important to you. And maybe this part of you, this ego self, has convinced you that, you know what, you need to keep going back and trying to find out, you know, what was it that was important? What's important to me? And spinning on that. And the mind will keep doing that to you. But now it's saying, all right, let's go into your body, Cancer. That's where your answer is. You can find out. You have the answer in you. It's your intuition. It's your inner guidance. It will guide you. And so what guidance does the tarot have for you in relation to this situation? What's the next step How do you, get back into your body? What is it that the tarot wants you to focus on right now? Well, it says here's the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. In an upright position, this individual, he's holding on to his hoe, right? This particular deck takes a snapshot of the Rider-Waite, and he's just finished hoeing, this big pile of pentacles, right? And it's in reverse because I think, he's spent all his life hoeing all these pentacles, and he's looking at it and going, is this everything? You've spent your entire life, and now you're at a point where you're like, is this it? I'm just going to die like in so many more years, or is this it? And maybe you've given up. I look at this card as someone that's just been through so much. And so maybe you're at a point where you're sitting here as, you know what? I've given up. And that's what you keep, your head keeps spinning. And but the universe says, well, know what? I want to turn that around. I want you to know that, there's a new direction here for you. There's hope here. And, and I don't even want to use that word hope, really. It's like there is something here for you. It's not about hope. That word hope often gives us something to cling at. And it's almost like you hang on to it, like hoping that it's going to happen, where it's like, no, this is going to happen for you. And that's why the universe is saying, this giving up, it's now time to realize that, you need to wake up. And it's not about giving up, it's about waking up. And I love that, because this particular card is a judgment card, and this angel is with his horn. Look at him, he's blown this horn, and all these people are rising from their coffins. It's this card I've seen in other decks. It's called the Awakening card, right? It's time for you to wake up to your situation, right? You've given up, and now it's time to wake up, because you have another inner child here that holds your sword. And the single sword is the sword of authenticity. It's the sword of who you are. We know how you start off this Knight of Pentacles with your body, and it's like, get back into your body. It's wanting you to get back into your body. It knows who you are. It's pulling at you. Well, because there's another part of you, another inner child that needs healing, that knew who you were. It holds your sword of authenticity. It holds your truth. And again, these inner parts need healing. They need you to listen to them. They need you to get still. And getting still, you get in touch with your intuition. These are all beautiful feminine qualities that are wanting to come through for you right now, but you are very much in your head, and your ego has kept you up there spinning, right? About what could have and should have happened. And it's like, no. Not time to give up. It's time to wake up. And so, Cancer, I'm going to leave you with this. It's been a beautiful reading for you, and I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This is the most difficult journey, but the healing journey is the most important one in your life. So take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye.